Ayubowan. I quote from the Chittavagga of Dhammapada. The mind is very difficult to see, very delicate and very subtle. It moves and lands wherever it pleases. The wise one should guard his mind, for a guarded mind brings happiness, extreme happiness. So we are very, very happy to welcome you back again on Dhamma Hadaya with our special guest from UK, Dr. Shiroma Bandara, a teacher of meditation, and she has been with us for some time now. And last year, if you can remember, we did quite a series of programs, especially of the Satara Satipatthana, the Kaya Anupassana, Vedana Anupassana, Chitta Anupassana and Dhamma Anupassana. And we also had meditation sessions and we discussed how to meditate. And we are extremely glad that you viewers have really practiced it. So this time we thought of dedicating this program for you, for the questions of the viewers who have actually practiced meditation. First of all, let me warmly welcome Dr. Shiroma Bandara back to the studio with us. And ma'am, as I just said, we have questions from who have genuinely attempted to meditate, and we are extremely happy because that was indeed our intention, to get everyone into meditation. So we thought we'll have this session on practical meditation and some questions. Well, ma'am, first of all, the first question sent by a viewer. Well, we do Anapanasati, and why this viewer wants to know why that breath has been chosen and not something else when you consider the body and the processes.
Yeah, I think it's a very good question because the viewer obviously has a very questioning mind and wants to know why they are doing it before they embark to do it. So if you look at the breath, just bring your focus on the breath, and what we feel is that it is something that is just happening spontaneously and involuntarily. Most of the time the breathing process is going on and we are not even aware of it. So it is a very subtle process that goes on that is involuntary and spontaneous, and it is just happening. So in Anapanasati Sutra, Buddha recommends and has chosen this process for us to focus on, so that we can learn about the other processes through this process. And it's the easiest thing to do. So when you actually think about the breathing and what we gain from that, we can use the breath to get the mind into two-pointed focus, like the in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. So from millions of other thousands of other objects, we boiled it down to 2 points. So from that two-pointed concentration, we bring it to one-pointed concentration at the base of the nostril, and just focus in there and allowing a natural process to happen without anyone doing anything. So that is important because it's just happening. And through that we can either practice the concentration, tranquility of the mind, like samatha, up until samadhi by one-pointed concentration, and derive a lot of peace and happiness and practicing that. Secondly, we can actually understand the qualities and experience, that's the word, experience the qualities of material through the breath. The breath is a material. The Buddha says understand the Panchaskandha. So the first one is understand the material rupa in the Panchaskandha. So the breath, the air column and the breath is the rupa, external rupa, bahijatva, and the internal rupa becomes the nostril. So we've got the external and the internal rupa, material, touching at one point at the base of the nostril. So that phenomena is happening naturally. So watching that, we can do a lot of Vipassana and insightful meditations and learn about the material itself, the hardness, the airy quality, the watery quality, the temperature change of the breath. So we learn about the dhatu, material of the breath, and then the breath touching. As soon as the breath touches the nostril, the knowing or the feeling of touch arising, then we understand this rupa nama, nama rupa phenomena working together there, and then watch it even further, the in-breath finish, out-breath finish. We can learn about and experience the cause and effect phenomena that happens in that process. So when you look at all that, all the Vipassana jhanas can unfold through the breath meditation, and also deep, insightful realization through the breath. And it is a normal, natural, spontaneous phenomena. That is why. Having said that, some people cannot use the breath as a meditation, and then alternate would be the abdomen, to watch the belly rise and fall, and that is also very profound meditation. And of course, failing that, there are other meditations that a teacher can introduce you to. If you cannot do the breath meditation or the belly meditation, don't give up, because there are other meditations just as profound that one can do.
Okay, like for an example?
There'll be like the scanning meditation from from top of the head down, and then there are the other meditations on the Satipatthana. We can choose to suit the person. So, but try, and most people can. The breath meditation is profound, because in Anapanasati Sutra, which the Buddha discoursed to many arhats and Maharatan Vasi, Mugalan Maharatan Vasi, Mahakashyapa, including a lot of arhats were there after was in a was period. And in that Anapanasati Sutra, Buddha teaches that from the first step to the 16th step, first step is watching the long in-breath, that's long in-breath, and the last step is Nibbana, liberation. So it's good if you can master it.
Well, I suppose the breath meditation is very popular because usually most people find it easier than the rest.
Yes, most.
To begin with.
Yes, of course, yes. For Samatha and for Vipassana.
Okay, ma'am, now while meditating, because our viewers have tried this out, while meditating, they have come across various problems. So one has asked, what can I do with the thoughts that come into my mind when I start meditating? Now, this is what Venerable Ajahn Brahm calls inner speech.
Yes.
There's a lot of inner speech going on. We notice that after starting to meditate, once we initiate the meditation, there is a lot of inner speech going on. So what can we do with this?
First of all, the first step is that now you're meditating, watching the breath, suddenly you realize you've been thinking. And it happens. That realization itself is a good point.
Okay.
It's a turning point. So as soon as
you can be happy that it's a
you
good
caught
point.
it. It's a good point, positive, that you acknowledged and you got aware that you have been thinking. Thoughts have been passing through your mind. The first thing we do is we regret and we blame ourselves and we say, oh, we can't do this meditation. My mind is going into thoughts so many times. And my advice there is, do not regret. It's a natural phenomenon. So the minute you regret, you actually miss a really, really profound place of realization. And you miss and go around blaming yourself into the negative of it. But if as soon as you catch yourself thinking and acknowledge thinking, thoughts are passing, thinking, and now you have to see this thinking came from nowhere. You didn't want to think. It came from nowhere. Just watch to see what will happen next. So thinking started, thoughts came, thoughts went. You caught it at the middle of thinking, and then you acknowledged and you saw that thinking stopped.
Okay.
And then allowed that to go as a natural phenomenon. Now in our meditations last times we discussed how to watch the beginning, middle and end of a breath. Beginning, middle and end of a breath. Now we can see that even the thinking process has a beginning, middle and an end. So caught the thinking process in the middle, just wait. Here is the middle of thinking. End is coming. End of thinking. That's the finished. That's finished. There was thinking, there was the middle of thinking, then it finished. So first of all, no regrets, no aversion to it. Secondly, lot of kindness and gentleness and compassion to this process. So you think, oh yes, thinking's happened, and you watch it and you wait till it passes. So in fact, what actually happens within your mind is you are watching what a thought is like. What thinking is like. So in fact you'll be doing more of Chittanupassana there. And your mind is absorbing thought process is this. It has a beginning, middle and end, and it's really absorbing that ultimate truths. So if you don't regret, there is a chance here, potentiality to grow the wisdom through that experience. So thinking is not all bad, because it is natural. It just came from nowhere, started because of a reason, and it's going to end because of reasons. So that reasons will finish and it will end. So you just watch and then come back to the breathing process again and come back. And million times you will catch yourself thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, because when you keep on thinking of the beginning and the process of thinking and then the end of it, what happens to your breath?
Like,
will you get
come
disturbed?
Back. Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
That is what is important to stress here. It is okay, because this is a phenomena, that is a phenomena. We are not going to say this breathing phenomena is superior to the thinking. We are watching the breathing phenomena and thinking happened. We watched that, learnt about that, come back to the breath again. So the mind shouldn't get agitated, and then we learn about non-judgmental. If things happen that we don't want happening in a process, we try to embrace it and accept it. So we learn a lot of acceptance in the mind. So a huge amount of wisdom and mental strength happens there if you just watch that and come back to the breath again. And if it happens again, you do the same, and you will soon see that the times that the mind deviates to thinking will get less and less and less.
So and the gaps between thoughts will increase?
Yes, that means it will come back to breathing. It will come back to breathing and less for deviation. And it will be more with the breath and less so much that if you really persevere, it will not go to thinking. It will just not go to thinking. It will just be there, stable, and then your mind will reach the samadhi states.
Yeah, so definitely don't be disheartened, because as Dr. Shiroma said, you can. It is yet another opportunity for you to grow in your meditation. So let us not be disheartened of this inner speech or thoughts that come across your mind while meditating. So we was also asked, what about the sounds we hear? Because whenever we try to meditate, like some people complain that we don't have a quiet place in our homes. Do we really have to go outside and find a quiet place? And sometimes when we start meditating itself, you can hear sounds. And these things are, cannot be prevented.
Yes.
What can we do, ma'am?
We don't do anything. That is so simple. It is a matter of the attitude here. See, we are doing all this with right view, and the attitude here is allow world to be as it is. Just allow the environment to be as it is. But what we have been actually programmed from childhood is to construct. We are sakas karana. All around we want to do it my way. We want to arrange things, rearrange and stop things and start things. Just let it all be. It's so peaceful. Just allow the environment to unfold just as it is. So here we are sitting in meditation, sounds come. And if we say primary object is this breathing, here comes the secondary object. To a short while, just see that it is happening in the far distance, but the near and sharper is your focus on the breath, but it is happening in the background. So practicing another disturbance to just be in the background and just being with your main focus itself is a practice of strengthening your mind. So you allow unpleasant things to happen, yet you're focused, calm, in one focus, without deviating, without reacting, or having confrontations with that second object. So allow for a short while, as far as you can, allow the second object to be there, the sound to be there, but keep on focusing. If at one time the second object becomes sharper than your breath, the focus, and it shifts to the second object, let it shift there. And now what we are going to do is now we are focusing on the sound. So we'll focus on the sound and you watch the sound, and what do you think will happen? The sound has a beginning, middle and end. So if you're watching the sound, it will change, it will deviate, it will stop. And allow, and if it is carrying on, just look at the sound frequency, arising, passing, sound is arising, passing. And that itself is a meditation. And you didn't change anything outside, but you accepted it and you're looking into that sound, because sound is also rupa. So even watching the breath is watching rupa, watching sound is watching rupa.
Okay.
So watch that, and then as it passes, as it changes, come back to your primary object. And then carry on with your samatha vipassana. So in fact, certain teachers, especially Venerable Ajahn Brahms, always say there is no samatha and vipassana, they go hand in hand like the wheels of the car. So here, when you look at these processes, it happens together. Of course, samatha develops and your mind gets sharper, but the disturbances we deviate and do with vipassana on the sound and then come back. So the sound, at a later stage, the sound will carry on and on in the background, and you will be able to keep the meditation still going.
Well, I suppose if you develop this skill, you will get the ability of doing your studies when there's a lot of noise in the environment.
Yes, not only the disturbances in studying, like when we out and in life, there'll be a lot of situations where there'll be unpleasant things happening in a household, and you are helplessly there without being able to change. But here, practicing that we don't need to change anyone or any thing that is happening around us, and yet be calm, and yet develop acceptance, and yet get on with what we have to do is absolute skill, and I think it will give go towards a lot of cessation of suffering in life if you master that technique.
Definitely. And ma'am, what about physical pain, something that you undergo very much when you're meditating, especially when you're in a particular position, maybe the lotus position when you are seated. So how can you handle that? The physical pain.
That's right. It's a common problem,
Yeah.
and even pain. It's a natural phenomena. It happens because of some causes, some muscles pushing together, or compression of a nerve ending, or something like that. So it's because of a cause it comes, and because of a cause it goes. So if you have that attitude towards pain, first thing is that you won't have aversion towards pain and anger towards pain. That's the most important thing. Not to have aversion, not to wish it won't be, it is not there. Just let it, what is there, let it be there. So pain is there. For a beginner, I would think, again, the pain is far in and your focus is here. Secondary object is in the background, and see as much as you can to carry on the focus on the breath with the pain being there and being aware there is pain. And then if at a time the pain becomes more and increased, you can shift your focus to the secondary object and look at the pain. Now here, looking at pain, keep watching without moving. Just keep watching the pain as pain, how it arises and how it is. And sooner or later you will see that it also has a beginning, middle and end, and it will pass. But however, in practical, you might be saying it's easy to say but difficult to do. I agree, because I have been sitting there and my knee pain has been excruciating and pulsating. And then my teachers have said, sit there and sit through and see what happens. That's the only way you know and you understand and experience what pain is. So I have sat there and experienced, and even till tears come through my eyes. Just see, if you cross over that peak of the pain, you will see that it will subside and it passes away to absolute relief. So that experiencing that release and relief, looking back, you saw how pain came, how pain existed, and how pain disappeared, and how relief was there at the end of the pain. So to actually experience that, you have to go through the whole process and watch it and come back to the breath again. Having said that, for a beginner it's going to be very difficult to do. For a beginner,
I was about to ask ma'am, now if you change your position, maybe for a beginner, is it going to be disturbing?
And no, for a beginner, you change the posture mindfully. And you're with the breath, now you acknowledge the pain and moving, lifting leg, stretching leg, moving, like that. So with mindfully, and then you can come back to the breath again. And later, as you become more experienced, you can actually look straight at pain. People don't like pain.
No.
But, but if you say pain is dukkha, dukkha satya, if Buddha's first teaching message is that 4 truths he came to say, and that is the dukkha, noble truth, and the cause, and the cessation, and the path leading to cessation of the dukkha. And here comes dukkha, and you say, I don't want to look at it, I want to move it, I want to get rid of it. How would you ever understand dukkha?
True.
You have to face it without fear, courageous, and look at it, and you will find it has its own qualities. It passes away. It can't kill you. It will pass away, nothing will happen. So just face the pain, and you are not afraid of pain anymore. And there certain truths will be sinking in, like the 4 noble truths. So that will be happening behind the scenes, like in your psyche, like a cause and effect phenomena. So you just watch the pain and be kind, be gentle, watch that pulsations, and see how it arise and pass. Every arising is a peak in the pulsation of pain. Every passing, you can actually experience a relief. In every passing, in every throb of the pain, you can see the throbs and see the passing and arising and passing, and suddenly it will pass away. So pain is not overwhelming. We can face that and come back to the breath again. And there we have done Vedananupassana, see,
Sure.
and come back to the breath. So we embrace every experience and turn it to a meditation.
Yeah. Can we apply the same process to things like headaches and throbbing of head?
When we meditate.
Yes, when we meditate.
Yes, I have heard that a lot of times as well, when they feel a big, huge compression of this head and neck area and then starts throbbing, you just can't shift it. And this happens usually when the breath starts to disappear. And most of the time this is because we are clinging to this material, rupa, kaya, so much. And when the breath starts to disappear, the mind gets agitated and it clings and it throbs and hurts the head. It's a kind of clinging. If you tell them not to let it happen and all that, it happens more. So all what we have to say is when it happens, that throbbing, that's dukkha arising. It's a suffering, it's a dukkha arising, and just look at it as dukkha has arisen. And I will watch dukkha. So dukkha vedana will turn to a dukkha satya. I understand in the dukkha. When you keep on doing it and allowing the letting go of your kaya, letting go of your body, letting go of your breath, and letting go, very soon, within weeks, that sensation of headaches, all that disappears. And all the yogis I know who's had this experience have gone past beyond it. So if any one of you get that, don't get disheartened. Just keep doing it and acknowledge that suffering has come. Watch it, keep doing it, and you will succeed.
Yeah, well, I think I'm sure our viewers are very, very glad to hear that, because that's pretty encouraging. And ma'am, our viewers have also asked how they could tackle boredom or being sleepy while you meditate.
I know, it's a big problem, boredom, because you sit there for 5-10 minutes and you think of all your chores that you have to do, and you get bored sitting there. Why do you think you get bored sitting there? If you think, why do I get bored? Why can't I sit here and just meditate? Because we closed the sensory bases, all the other sensations, and there is no delight coming, there is no excitement coming, and the mind is so used to this excitement in the waking stages. The mind is always going around looking for, we put the TV on, the radio and the paper, or talk to people, laugh, joke, all to excite these sensory bases and sensations. So sitting here, the mind is alien to all that, doesn't like it. So it's trying to find this excitement, and the suffering comes because tanha is saying, get up and go and find fun. So it's tanha. So you can actually see these Four Noble Truths unfolding. Boredom, that is dukkha, and why? The cause, the samudaya, is because tanha is wanting you to go to do other things. And you watch this tanha for a while and understand this situation, allow that wanting to go, pass, and your boredom disappears, and very easily you can come back to the swing of the meditation. So there you are understanding Four Noble Truths. And people say, yeah, we know about Four Noble Truths in theory. How do we realize it? The Dhamma, realizing Dhamma means realizing the Four Noble Truths. So here comes dukkha satya, the first truth looms up through our meditation, and we have aversion to it. But if we use that, we can do the Four Noble Truths meditation, the realizations, and wherever we get a tanha for other things, and we get suffering because of that, the mind will quickly jump into that track, let go of that tanha, and the suffering is gone. Rather than strive to get that object of tanha, get into more suffering.
So I suppose these hindrances that occurs while you're meditating, they of course give you an opportunity to realize the Four Noble Truths
As well.
Yes.
And also, of course, practically, we remember Venerable Mugalan Maharatan Mahanse, he had this problem, and Buddha, in his most compassionate motherly nature, has said to him so many things to do, like look at a bright light for a long time, or put water in your face, or drink water, pull your ears, and bite your lip, and bite your tongue, and a lot of practical tips as well. But the underlying message is to carry on and not to get disheartened by that.
Yeah. Now, ma'am, you happen to say from the question that we get from the viewers about these headaches and head throbbings that occur during meditation, you happen to say that it occurs usually when the breath disappears.
Yes.
Now, our viewers, some of them have experienced this, the breath disappearing after some time, and they want to know what they are supposed to do, because some of us get frightened. Oh, what's happening? Am I going to die? Am I, losing it?
Yes.
What should they do when it happens?
Isn't this strange? At the beginning, you want to have peace, and there are headaches, and you struggle with it. And then if you don't have headaches and you go peacefully, progress in the meditation, and the breath disappears, then you're agitated again. This is because this is tanha. This is tanha. This is the mind wanting the known territory. Mind cannot handle the unknown territory. Now we are bringing the mind into an unknown territory where it has never experienced calmness without any process happening. All the time there are processes happening through the six senses. So here, through the breath, we watch that process, and we watch that process end, and then the breath is disappeared, and there is calmness, and calmness, and calmness. Now the mind doesn't know whether your body is there. You want to open your eyes and see whether my hands are there, whether I'm dead, and what's going on, or whether I would disappear. This is all fear of the unknown, and your tanha craving.
Especially when breath disappears.
Yes.
You have been breathing all your life, so am I going to die?
This is the awareness of the breath disappearing.
Yeah.
So stay put. Stay put. You have to have Shraddha in Buddha's word, and stay there and stay there. And if I tell you the value of that state of mind, you will appreciate it. This is where Kalyana Mitta is so important. My teachers have told me that, to appreciate that position, that as a huge, valuable place that you have come to through your meditation, because if the mind is either fluctuating to the positive, happiness, excitement, or it's fluctuating to the sadness, negativity. So here is a place which is neither this end nor that end, in the middle, calm. We've reached the middle path.
Oh.
And here, through this adukkama sukha, it's neither dukkha nor sukha, adukkama sukha place. Through that is the next stage, the path to liberation. So you reached a beautiful state of mind. Stay there as long as you can. Go there as many times as you can. Every meditation, if you reach there, just stay there. And the letting go of that state itself is the progress of the path. So that is how you have to look at it. Just
so
stay
all
there.
you have to do is just be there.
Be there. Be there as long as possible. Be there watching what happens. Because this is to understand what happens, understand a state of mind. You cannot impose anything. You can't, if that is, then a personality view will come and jeopardize it. It's like a calm, if there is a calm lake, and if you stick your finger in it, then it all goes into ripples and can't see the bottom anymore. So if you are to understand that phenomenon and see the bottom at the depth what is happening, when this state of mind comes, don't do anything. Don't try to change. Don't think what is coming next. That's the next thing. What do I do next? What do I do next? What is happening? Nothing is happening now. Nothing is happening. Let go of all that. Don't entertain any of that. Just be there. There is no one wanting something else to happen. Just watch what happens. If anything happens, just watch it. That is where you will learn about these states of mind. And it will take you to whatever next stage of mind automatically. You don't have to worry, you just watch and wait.
Yes, so don't worry, because there are many yogis who have been there before you and they have succeeded.
Absolutely.
Yes. And ma'am, of course, now when we talk about the yogis or when we talk about the meditators or advanced meditators, some claim that they have achieved various stages such as jhanas or stages of sainthood. Now this is a bit confusing for the novice meditator, because one of our viewers have asked, how does one know whether one is progressing in meditation? So how can he or she find out?
Well, it's a fair enough question, because whatever we do, we need to know whether this is the right path, right way, and whether we are progressing. So fair enough. But the first thing is be very careful about giving yourself labels, that I'm here now, I'm there now. That is also Anicha anyway. So try not to do that. How I would judge any progress myself would be, I will refer to the Buddha's teaching. He said, I will show you a path which is leading to cessation of suffering. So if we are actually going through his path, we should be going towards cessation of suffering. So if you have a happy mind and generally a happy person, non-reactive, and you're calm in yourself and you're more accepting of things that are happening around you, and in your meditation there's happiness and joy and calmness and peace that is going towards forward, you're in the right path. So there is a lot of progress there. However, having said that, in that moment-to-moment progression, if we were to go towards Vipassana, we are doing Vipassana, the Vipassana jhanas will come helpful as milestones, that these certain truths have unfolded in my mind, so certain knowledges have unfolded in my mind. So the Vipassana jhanas, knowledge of that will be helpful as Suttamaya jhana. And then you will be doing this with some wisdom of what you're doing. But basically at the end of the day, the yogi will know by the amount of suffering you have got rid of, that it is going towards the right way, right path.
Sure. Now, since we talked about the progress and the Vipassana, one of our viewers would like to know, ma'am, is whether Vipassana knowledge is necessary to progress in meditation.
I think it would be very helpful, because in the Ratha Vinita Sutra, Buddha has mentioned the 7 stages of purification of the mind that indicate certain pathway there, Ditti Visuddhi, Chitta Visuddhi, Magga Magga, Dassana Visuddhi. So the 7 Visuddhis will guide you in the path. Likewise, the knowledge of Vipassana jhanas will definitely help. And when the realizations come, especially about Nama Rupa and Hetupala and Anicha, Udayavya, you will know yourself that you realize these truths. So knowledge of that will definitely help. And of course in this path, a Kalyana Mitra is very valuable. It's 100% of the path. This Kalyana Mitra, I feel, it fits in here very well. Because you tell your experience to somebody who has experienced it before, and with the discussion of the Dhamma behind that experience, you can go forward in Vipassana unfoldings there. So it is valuable.
Okay, now does it mean that we have to read a lot before we sit for Vipassana meditation?
Not necessarily. Certain teachers say less you read the better, because the mind is so calm, so pure, and you just watch. And of course, if you have a Kalyana Mitra, it's good. But as Buddha said, the wisdom unfolds in 3 stages, like Sutameya Jnane is Kalena Dhamma Sākacca, Kalena Dhamma Savanang. And also one requisite of Sotapanna stage is Saddhamma Shravana, Kalyana Mitra Sevana. So Saddhamma Shravana is very important in all that aspects, and then you know what this is all about.
Yeah.
And then allowing the natural phenomena to unfold without imposing that theory into it is the way forward with wisdom. If you try to make things happen, and if you let your theory mind, analytical mind, take over, then you get lost and then become argumentative. But if you go through pure experience and derive the knowledges through that, your shraddha of your faith about that knowledge, that realization is unwavering. It becomes very solid. So it's even more powerful than these analytical arguments. What you've seen is ingrained in you, becomes an experience.
Sure. So let me ask the next question from a viewer. What do you mean by Atapi Sati Sampajanyo? Atapi Sati Sampajanyo. Yes.
Yes, that phrase comes a lot in the Satipatthana Sutra, which is like our handbook of practice. And every moment, I would say every moment, in every meditation and every moment you can apply Atapi Sati Sampajanyo. Every moment, if you keep those 3 in mind. Atapi is effort, the right effort to combat keles, or effort to keep the mind in the present moment, if we say. And Satya is keeping the mind in the present moment, mindfulness. And Sampajanyo means doing that with wisdom. You can either keep the mind in the present moment and just watch, or note and watch and note what's happening. You just watch, everything will happen, and there is no wisdom derived out of it. But if you watch and note, you will know things are passing, things are arising, again passing, again arising, and the quality and the quantity and all the natural phenomena you can learn with that Sampajanyo. So Atapi Sati Sampajanyo has to work together every moment of your mindfulness, mindful meditations of Satipatthana. And if I put that into the Arya Ashtangika Marga, it just came to me now, we were discussing in the last program, with right view, with your right view is there that I am keeping the mind in this moment, then Atapi, right effort hits you here and now I am. It's the effort to not let it waver to the present, future and the past. So Atapi is keeping that mind in that present moment, in Sati, mindfulness, and Sampajan, and in that Samadhi, the wisdom arise, Sampajanyo. So Satipatthana and Eightfold Path all arise in this moment when you look at it that way. And in that, practically, something came to my mind. I listened to some Sayadaw's meditations in Burma, and that Mahasi Sayadaw brought out this example of a dart player. When you play the darts, even if other people are talking, you aim, attention, hit. Aim and attention and focus.
Sure.
Aim, attention. So every moment, remember, like the dart player, aim, attention, focus. So Atapi Sati happens there, focus, and then note Atapi Sati Sampajanyo happens every moment to moment. So that is the Satipatthana unfolding there.
Well, ma'am, I think we have just a few minutes. If you could explain just another question. What do you mean by Anicha?
Anicha is change and arising and passing phenomena.
Yeah.
And it's the change of all phenomena, and as we said, it can be taken in 3 stages. It's wear and tear, or the viparinama change, or the moment to moment arising passing of even the rupa kalapa, atomic vibration of arising and passing. And that is all Panchaskandha is subjected to anicca. Because of that, dukkha arise, because everything is in a flux.
Yeah.
And also because we can't say it is me or mine, and because it is changing.
Yes, and one last question from the audience. What is sunyata?
Anityata and sunyata is totally different. A lot of people get it mixed. And anicca, as we described just now, is a rising, passing phenomena of all the 5 aggregates. And sunyata is that it is past and it is not there. If I say like, because of causes, this is here. If the causes are not there, it's not there. It's sunyata. It's not there only because the causes were there. Only because the I and the object and the mind was there, we saw that flower basket. But if there was no I or no mind or no object, there won't be anything there. It's shunya. Only when I clap, because the 2 hands touched, a sound came. If there is no sound there. So shunya, no sound there. So there was existence, there wasn't existence. So in one sutra, Buddha says that even though everything is shunya, you have to understand, you can't just say everything is shunya and there is nothing there, there is no mother, there is no chair, there is nothing there. It's emptiness and emptiness. This is not what Buddha meant. Yes, Buddha said, I say to the monks, when I see origination, I say there is existence. And when I see cessation, I say there is no existence. So it goes on the path of cause and effect.
Oh, well, thank you so much, ma'am. And viewers, I hope that we have done a good duty today in answering. We tried as much as possible to answer all the questions that you have sent, aiming to Dr. Shiroma's discussion about meditation. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us and disseminating the knowledge of Dhamma, not just the it's not just the knowledge that she has read from the sutra, it is also the practical knowledge she has added in as well. And may this kusala kamma contribute towards Nibbana for you. And folks, thank you for being with us. Please write to us. If you have any questions, Dr. Shiroma, would you give your email address to her?
It is
to them?
Shiroma at hotmail.co.uk. That is SHIROMA at hotmail.co.uk.
So please forward more questions if you have. Thank you so much. May the most noble triple gem bless you as always.